Hey everybody, it's Dan Riley. Welcome to another episode of Drumb Drummer. With me, as always, is my cohort partner in crime, Chuck Delva. Say hello, Chuck.
Hello, Chuck.
So we're excited to bring you another episode. We put this together. Chuck and I have been talking about this for well over a year now, and well, especially with COVID-19 shutting everything down, we've kind of lost touch with our fellow drummers. So this is kind of a way to connect with everybody, and so we hope you like it. We're trying to bring local drummers, depending on how good we get at booking, maybe some famous ones, who knows. But these are all guys that you know and love, and maybe this is the way to get to know them a little bit better. So Jon Chalden, our guest here. So Jon, my recollection of you. I want you to talk about your history in St. Louis, but my recollection, I still bear the emotional scars of you standing behind me at Boomers, the ledge behind Boomers, and judging every hit of my drums, and just I was traumatized for many years, and I've always been intimidated. Like I saw you, I think I saw you at Rupert's. You used to play there all the time, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a house gig.
Yeah, and your groove was just anyway. So tell us about your roots in St. Louis, because you're not in St. Louis now, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So talk about your roots.
Well, I only judged one drummer in St. Louis ever. The rest of them I loved.
And that was me that you judged?
No,
I knew it.
You know, Chuck, that he that's all on him. I stood behind him and wondered who was going to buy my next scotch. That's all I thought about. St. Louis, I was on a band. I was in a band that was on the road, and this is back when the Midwest had all those gigantic clubs where you'd play 5 nights a week from like 11 to 4, and most of it was kind of the larger than life rock and roll thing. And what I remember about that, which was crazy, is you had to have the gigantic PA and tons of lights, and it was just crazy. But Mark Coughlin and I, who actually was at Rupert's and still leads the Rupert's band here in Atlanta, we were just miserable. And we were both like, man, I just want to go home and play funk music. And so we quit that band, which, believe it or not, was called In Sync. And you may remember them from around St. Louis, vaguely, N''SYNC. Mm-hmm. So I was in a boy band, I guess. But we quit that band and came to St. Louis, and a couple of friends of mine from college. I went to school in Decatur, Illinois, at Millikan University, which had one of the earliest commercial music programs and recording programs, and we met up there. So the 4 of us started a band. And we came to St. Louis, and Terry Siegel booked us. You remember Terry?
I do.
And we had the great fortune of a whole bunch of people taking us under our wings really early on. Ralph Butler's band at the time, and they let us play at his club. We had a regular night there. The guys in Fantasy, Street Corner. They saw us play, and they all liked what we were doing, and it was kind of different. And that whole group of amazing musicians who are just stellar humans just told clubs, like, you need to book these guys. And it made all the difference in the world for us getting established. But my memories of St. Louis were, I loved that town. I loved the people. I met so many great friends, and I got to play like 5 nights a week. You know, it was cheap to live there. Drum headquarters was ground zero and fantastic.
Yeah.
And there were so many great drummers in town at that time, and I always tell everyone who will listen, it's such a fraternal group, drummers are. And so I met so many really great friends that happen to be drummers, and my memories there are just awesome, man.
Tell me about the exit to Atlanta.
I had been on the road, and I came back and I got in an original band with some of the guys from Unconscious, and we started making a little noise, but it really, for a lot of reasons, it just kind of ended up being something we didn't move forward on. And then Mark Coughlin, who was the band manager at Rupert's, who was also the lead singer in Step, that funk band, had been moved when Rupert's closed in St. Louis. They moved him down to the club in Atlanta, which was doing really well. And he was there for a few years.
I didn't know there was other Rupert's around the country. I didn't know.
Yeah, the first one was in Minneapolis, and then Atlanta, and then St. Louis.
Okay.
And so Atlanta was the last one open. And when that finally closed, Mark was able to buy the rights to that name for next to nothing, and then started booking corporate stuff. And he called me in the spring of '96, and he said, "I got a bunch of work during the Olympics if you want to come down." And I was in a band at the time that had a deal with A&M, but it was really getting sketchy because Seagram's bought Polygram right around that time, and they were really trimming the fat of Polygram's multiple labels, and we ended up getting dropped. We were the last band on A&M to get dropped, so I was kind of like, I guess I'll just move to Nashville. Mark called me and said, "Come for the summer and make some money, and then when you get up there, you'll have a little padding." And I just kind of, it hit me in the middle of that summer, like, I don't really want to go to Nashville. And if you think about the Nashville in the mid '90s, it was very country. It wasn't terribly diverse, and really cliquey.
You were kind of feeling like a fish out of water.
Well, I just knew if I went to Nashville, I would be.
Right.
And Atlanta, I felt a lot more of a connection because Joe Rita, the bass player, and Mark, who I'd played with for years, were both there. I met a drummer who was the big Kingpin session guy here. And I said, "Man, I really want to," the reason I wanted to go to Nashville is to try to start recording, which is really difficult to do. And he was like, "Man, stay here, man. I'll get you hooked up." And the session drummer of Atlanta just started recommending me. Atlanta has been really, really good to me career-wise, whereas St. Louis, I pined to be there. You know, I really love that town. So
let's talk about gear. What do you? One of the neatest things about being connected to you is all the sweet kits you get. I don't know where your honey hole is, but you find some really nice stuff. So tell me about your gear currently.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff. A couple nice Gretsch kits and some nice vintage stuff. You know, it's funny, as far as gigs go, I can't stop playing this old Yamaha Tour Custom that I have. And it's largely based on, you know, the majority of live gigs I do outside of church are like corporate and wedding stuff where it's like every room you go to is different. And that kit just, no matter where I play it, it sounds great. It stays in tune. So it's just user friendly. And as a working musician, that's way more important to me than having the coolest drum set on the block.
You're right.
We've all battled that.
Yeah.
And I'm a Ludwig metal snare guy pretty much.
Me too.
Yeah, I've been pretty loyal to Zildjian. I don't have a deal with Zildjian, but they've been pretty good to me over the years. I kind of developed a little bit of a relationship through Weckel when he would let me go. Like when I'd be in Los Angeles, he'd get me an hour at Zildjian West, and I'd get to go pick out cymbals and stuff. And I always kind of had a rapport with them. So I feel pretty loyal to Zildjian.
So I just heard that Weckel moved back to St. Louis. I don't know if you heard that.
I heard rumors of that, but I hadn't heard it was confirmed. That's pretty cool.
So I want to ask you a couple questions here. So the room that you're in right now, if you could use one item from that room to rescue a family member that's in danger, what would you choose?
God, that's a good question. Maybe maybe throw a mattress out the window, and they could jump on it. That's a really pathetic answer.
No, I like it. What is the most money you've ever spent on fast food, and where were you?
I could probably only answer to what I remember, because there's probably plenty of times I spent significantly more in really places. Golly, man. When I lived in Mexico, way back when, you could go to the Mission District late at night, and they had what we now know as Chipotle and Moe's and all these places where you kind of you make your own burrito, they fill it up. Well, the first time I ever experienced that was in the Mission District, and we would just go out in the city and just be completely hammered and go there and buy burritos the size of our head, and I probably would be like, one for everybody, or something stupid like that.
I like your story. I like your style there.
Yeah.
So, another question here: how many basketballs could fit in your bedroom?
It's kind of big. The ceilings are high. That's why I'd have to. 450. I don't know. A lot.
450. It's a nice sized room, Chuck. Don't you think?
Oh yeah.
So, last question here. I want to ask you.
Oh man.
What would be your perfect murder weapon, and why?
I would probably put some headphones on someone and have them listen to me playing to a click track, and then they would off themselves, and I would be innocent.
I like that.
That's fucking beautiful.
I'm only half joking, but I think there would be some people that might. Yeah.
Well, John, before we get off here, our last segment, what you pimping? We got anything to plug? Anything at all?
Man, I'm always selling gear. I love the game. I think I'm probably more addicted to the hunt than I am the gear, to be honest with you. But my Facebook page, and I have a Reverb page that says Jon Chalden, and I move quite a bit of stuff. So if you're interested, I'm always finding and slinging cool gear. So I'd love for everybody that hasn't checked it out to do that. Other than that, Dan, I've been blessed in the past year or so. I get to play with Mac Powell quite a bit, and a singer from Third Day, and that's been pretty awesome. And you can catch that on Church of the Apostles is the church that I play at, and we do a live broadcast. And it's some good stuff, man. That dude's amazing.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah, I saw them in St. Louis. They did a gig at Six Flags.
Oh yeah,
one year. I was there.
Yeah. He's a really great singer. He's a better guy, which makes it awesome.
Well, John, you and I talk on the phone. We text, and we're connected on Facebook. But man, it's sure nice to see your ugly mug, man. I miss you, and I love you, and I really appreciate you coming on board and on this podcast and helping us out. We're noobs here, and you're a pro, so thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Come on, man. And we're all in the same boat, man. Just trying to make it happen,
All right. Well, thanks again, Chuck. Say goodbye, Chuck.
Goodbye, Chuck.
Thanks.
See you,
Goodbye,
John.
Chuck.
See you, buddy.
Great to meet you, man. We'll hang out when I get up there.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, Dan. Love you, man.
Love you too.
Take
See ya.
care. Bye.
Peace out.